Hello everybody, welcome to this new episode of the Bestiary of Terebia, and today I will talk to you about the lumaigle. So what is the lumaigle? As you can see here, it's a big bird. In fact, it's a vulture. It's considered as a natural creature. Its triangle number is 16, and for the shepherds, the advice is try to find its shadows. I will explain that a bit later. For the pretense, it's still the same for the origin and the triangle number, but the pretty scale is 70. So it's pretty low, it's the same as the gnomes. And the advice is destroy their nest. So why? Because an adult is very difficult to kill, because he can fly, he can fly in fact, and he can go in very height, in the sky, but in the nest, the babies or the eggs are very easy to destroy. And why did the Puritans want to destroy the lumaigle? I will explain that at the end. So here you have the pretty scale, and here you have the position on the triangle number. So where can you find them in Terebia? You can find them easily in the mountains, but also in places in which you will have a cliff, a very abrupt cliff in fact. One exception are the steppes of the extreme east of Terebia, but it's a bit different because as you can see here, so it's extreme east. The plains are surrounded by groups of mountains, and the lumaigle can travel very long distances, so it's not a surprise to find them over the plain. But you can also have some of them in the cliff near the sea, for example. And you can also find them traveling between the different areas. So in fact, you can find them everywhere in Terebia, but more especially in the mountains. So about the anatomy, you have here the body of a lumaigle. As you can see, it's pretty big. There is three special things about the animal. In first, on his head, he have a black mask. So as you can see here, he have also big eyes, which can't move. The lumaigle have a very good vision, but he can't move his eyes. Then you have here the color. You don't have the colors, but for the tail, the front and the back of the wings, and the color you have here, it will be black or dark gray. For the body and the head, it will be something like dark yellow, milk, or light orange. And for the wings, it will be more generally the same color as the body, but a bit sometimes it's less dark than the body. Now I will talk to you about the shadow. So here you can see the title, the bright shadows. And generally, shadows is not linked to, it's not bright, it's dark. In fact, it's because the lumaigle have a luminous shadow. And it's not the only things about that shadow. It also disturb the magic in it. I will explain that a bit later. So it can be important to know where the shadow will go. For that, you have here an image. You have the nest. So it's a little mistake. Here I put the nest at the top of the cliff, generally it will be more in the middle, but it was more simple for the illustration. After you have the flight corridor, so it's the way the lumaigle will have to reach a thermal lift, so you know when you have high temperature on the ground, it make some big high it makes some warm air to go up, and the birds use it to fly. In fact, when you can see big birds turning in the sky, generally it's because they are climbing because of a thermal lift. And the drawing of the shadow on the floor is called a thermal spiral, and it can be very important. So here, if you, I think you should have a look about the video of the magic, especially the witchcraft, to understand that table. But here you have, as you can see here, I make medium lines, for example, for witchcraft in green blue, for shamanism in purple, necromancy in gray, and pyromancy in orange. It's to reproduce, for example, it's just example. Now, if you are under the bright shadow, the density and the quantity of magic will increase. So as you can see here that it became impossible to practice magic under a bright shadow. There is some exception linked to pyromancy and magic of Velebi, but it's very specific, so I won't talk about that here, but in specific videos. Now, what is the relation of the scarecrows with the lumaigle? So I told you that the Puritans hunt and track down the lumaigle, but why? In fact, it's because the Puritans think that Velebi can explain himself only by only through the Puritans. For example, imagine that you are not you're not linked to the Puritans, but you have the same message. They won't saw you as an allied, they will saw you as a rival, and also a criminal because you take from the Puritans, take people from the Puritans. The lumaigle, because it's very specific, because the bright shadow it's specific, they see it as a rival, in fact, because it have a relation with magic, it disturbs magic, and sometimes it saved sometimes a village, especially in special events, but I won't talk about that here. So they saw the lumaigle as a rival and want to exterminate them to keep the people under their order. For the shepherds, it's okay. The fact that the lumaigle disturb magic, it's not a very big problem for them, because the shepherds especially used the magic of Velebi, and the magic of Velebi is not too disturbed by the lumaigle. Another point is that it's pretty destructive against necromancy. I will explain why, but the necromancy is very specific, and you have to figure that a big quantity of energy and a big density of energy for the necromancy is terrible, more than for the other magic systems. And the shepherds hate necromancy. It's in fact one of the points in which the shepherds are more restrictive than the Puritans. They very hate necromancy. So it's all you have to know about the lumaigle. I hope you enjoyed the video. For the next time, you can choose between the darkfly, the werewolves, also called lycans, or the dragons. And back to the next episode.